Traffic is high. Excuse me. Please wait 30 seconds to try again. Okay. Well, listen, I thought that's for going live. We're not going live. We're just recording. All right, wait 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Let's give it 30 seconds.
Guess did try.
Yeah, but listen, like I said, it says, listen.
I wish you could record this.
Oh,
I wish you could record this right now.
Let's do this. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast. I'm your host, Ken, here with our other co-hosts as well. We got the best top 5 steppers in the world. No, we don't have the best 5 top steppers.
I thought he was doing my. I thought he was doing my part. I was about to say, like, wow, we're just gonna do that. You're gonna cut my whole
and just.
Like, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like,
in full Ken manner, Sino.
Sino. Because I snapped that high five. I thought it was replaced.
No. I want to hear Ken do it though. No. You're keeping all of this. This is the beginning of the podcast. So
let me do. Yes.
Go one more time. I want to hear you do his intro, Ken. Right now, go.
I got this. We're good. Everyone, welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast. I'm your host, Ken. Here with your other co-host, the other one. From the top. Everyone, welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast.
This is how we're keeping it. Ken. Are you kidding me?
Yes, I'm down for it.
No.
I'm down. We're keeping this the whole intro.
It's hard to be me, ain't it?
No, it's not hard to be Sino. I can be Sino. Stand by. Here's your host, Ken, aka the SuperTechGod. Of course, the man with every variant in the game. Here with our co-hosts, the one and only, the top 5 best snappers in the world, Sino. Why? Because he snaps that hot fire. And of course, our other co-host, the one and only, ItsGuestGaming. Why? Because we epic sax party all night long.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever said that line in public out loud ever, but you know what? That's completely okay if you wanna make that a public.
Let's go on a t-shirt.
Display. So that's fine.
I could have used a little more
t-shirt.
Yes, it's ItsGuestGaming.
Okay.
Epic sax party all night long.
Yeah. There you go. I like the way you think, but I'm kind of with Sino though. You were like, for being Mr. 100%, you kind of give Sano's thing like a whole like 62%.
It was mid. It was mid. It was
too much.
We'll work on it for next. We'll get it for next week. That's fine.
It's okay. You'll be all right.
That's fine.
Yes, but guys, thank you for coming back to the podcast. Of course, as you guys know, we are revamping everything. The new look. Hope you guys like it. Everything looks nice and shiny and pretty. Shout out to Guest Gaming for that, of course. And then we are going to have some awesome topics to talk about. Starting off, of course, with first and foremost, how you guys doing? Everybody's okay? How's the week been? Everybody enjoyed their Mother's Day?
Yeah, it was awesome. Nice and quiet, chill. I liked it. Guest?
Honestly, I worked and then had like an afternoon off for Mother's Day and then went back to work because I was a very, very busy man. I have had the grind on and man, I cannot wait for this weekend. I'm having a barbecue. I'm relaxing. So yeah, gonna have a nice Brazilian barbecue, have some friends over. It'll be good.
Let's go.
Awesome. What do you go?
Looking forward to this weekend.
Book the flight. We out of here.
What you got cooking on the grill? What you got cooking on the grill?
Yeah. So oh man, you're gonna make me have to like translate a bunch of things now, but the Brazilian cut of choice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll call it steak, but the cut is famously known as picanha, and it's basically just think of like a top round, like London broil. So it's like super lean, but it has all of the fat cap on the top. So you slice it. It's got this nice little beautiful drippy fat. Oh, it's so
sounds good.
It is sounds really good. It is good. Throw that on the grill. Some sausage. We'll probably do some chicken wings as well, and maybe I'll do a secret surprise. I'll let you know. Next week.
Hungry. You guys want to see pictures? Definitely leave some comments down below on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
You can listen to us over at Anchor. Leave us a voice note. Let us know what you think about that awesome sounding piece of meat he's about to cook this weekend. Now,
can about to chef it up. Do you wear like?
Can we not call it that?
Piece of meat.
That just.
Oh my god!
This a whole new podcast now. We're gonna need to put that explicit filter on and things now. Jesus,
it is what it is.
Do you wear like a special apron when you on the grill, or is it like just regular?
Yes, I wear the It's Guest grilling apron, which you can find at itsguestgaming.com .shop because .com is not the domain I own yet, but give it time.
There you go. .shop. That's how you segue into that amazing way to plug his awesome merch. Speaking of which, he has amazing mugs. Not just his face. I'm talking about actual mugs that we drink out of over at ItsGuestGaming.shop. Okay, let's not forget about that. Now, speaking of amazing looking mugs, the newest card that came out this week is the one and only Sage. Now, I know a lot of people did not like this card or don't like this card. We had a discussion last week about it. I think this card is the best card this season. As you guys can see, on reveal, +2 power for each different power among all other cards here. Now, I spoke to Sino about this earlier this week. He hates the text on this card. He thinks it's way too much. You guys let us know what you feel. If you feel the same way. Nonetheless, I did pick up this card. Did enjoy playing her. Got her to the highest of 72 power. This is without a negative deck. And I think she is very good in any circumstance you want to put her in, whether it be bounce, whether it be negative, whether it be surfer, whether it be move. I think she's a great 3-cost card, but there is one card that definitely puts a stop to her. And we talk about that later in the chat. Now, Sino, I know you didn't pick her up, but how do you feel about this card?
I've seen people play with Sage. I'm not a big Sage person. I'm sorry, guys. I know you guys are a fan. I'm not. I've seen people proc her up to amazing value, and then I've seen people proc her up to just mid value. So, and more often than not, I've seen the mid more than I've seen the amazing. So I wasn't like, oh, I gotta go get her now. It didn't sell me. Especially after seeing STG struggle a little with her.
Well, I didn't struggle with her. I just struggle having fun because I like to snap. I don't care. I'm going for 8 cubes. I care. I don't care.
I wasn't convinced, bro. You didn't convince me. Yeah. I was just like,
I convinced a bunch of other people, but it's okay.
You asked me my opinion. I gave it to you.
I appreciate it. Guess how you feel about this card? The correct person on this chat. Guess how you feel?
Wow. Okay.
All right. So the way I look at Sage after like testing a whole bunch of different shells, like I thought she'd be really good for junk decks. I thought she'd be really good for surfer decks. Of course, negative made a lot of sense. And essentially to me, I feel like with Sage, you have to run one of 3 cards, if not multiple of these, to make her work. You need either Ravona, Silver Surfer, or Wong. You need one of those 3 to make her work. Silver Surfer decks were hands down my favorite location for her because the negative pop off was so far infrequent. Like it gave me the old Darkhawk vibes in trying to get it into that equation. And that's exactly how you would play her, is in that old deck, old version of negative with what used to be a 4-0 Darkhawk. You put the 0-3 Sage essentially in there in replacement. It wasn't my favorite just because negative decks are, very hit or miss depending on the meta, and they're very difficult to consistently climb with. I just felt like if I had one of those going, I was really off and running. But without one of those key pieces to get her to proc twice, or to get her down to 2 cost, or to really bring her over the top with an extra 2 power, she's very dependent on those other pieces. So if you build a deck with that in mind, it's a good card. But if you're just trying to plug and play it to be a 3/10, then you're going to be very disappointed.
Thank you.
That's fair. The negative card, this is what made me drop when Sino was watching me play. It sucks because you need to get negative to kind of pull that whole thing off, whether you want to have her procking and drop Taskmaster, or you want to Zola her, or whatever the case is. It was very difficult. But again, when you put in the Surfer card list, it's a whole lot better. But you do need Ravona. I even had Sarah in there. So you need these type of things to kind of help you bring that cost reduction down, so you can
Surfer, though, play that route. There was some games where it procced up crazy, and then there were some games where it was still mid. I just think, and if we gave Surfer back his old ability of +3, guys, bring Surfer back. Let's go. Let's bring him back, baby. We're gonna get a ItsGuestGaming mug of Surfers. Like, bring Surfer back. Let's go.
Oh man. All right. So,
but yeah, I'm just saying she's mid.
Okay. All right. With all that being said, We did give some ratings last week. Let's give our final ratings now. Guess, do you remember the scoring that we have here at the wonderful Snapcast? You do not remember?
Well, I remember the scoring. I just have no idea what I gave it.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you
this
just
is,
you know the
I know what it is now, though. I know what it is now.
Okay, so we'll start from you. What do you give it now?
I give it a gold. I give it a solid gold. I think it's one of those that you're not gonna miss out if you don't have it, but if you do have it, you're gonna want to put it in very specific types of builds to make it optimally play. So for that reason, I feel like it's a gold card.
Fair enough. Sino?
I think if there's another card coming out in the future that probably supports it, it'll bring it up for me. But I think it just misses gold. It goes into silver for me. Like just misses gold, but silver.
That's fair. I gave it double platinum. I think it's definitely, like I said, a phenomenal card. Yeah, double platinum. It's not diamond, but double platinum.
That's pretty high, bro.
Yeah,
like, jeez.
That's how I feel about it. I have
what were in those Sour Patch Kits you had today, man? Like,
it's a fun card.
Were those the special candies?
It's a fun card. It can.
You need a prescription for those? Like,
it can cheat out cubes for you. It's a fun card. I'm definitely giving it double platinum. I really do enjoy Sage on that level. Now,
spent way too much on that.
Now we go to our on reveal card of this week, or sorry, the next week coming out, which is of course Namora. Now Namora is give +5 power to each of your cards alone at another location. Makes sense. She works with the wonderful other Marvel characters, Namor, of course, Namor, and of course, the movie kind of had them say it differently, so that's what I was going for. But you're right,
Namor. If you play Rivals, it's Namor.
Namor. Right, there you go.
I love the accent there. There we go.
No, so going forward, when we ever talk about that card on this podcast, guest has to say it.
Has to say it. Yep.
Right. And of course, Orca. See, now that works great.
Maybe
with
even a little Atuma.
Yeah,
get it up to 15 power.
Of course. So it definitely works well with those type of cards, and like any other card that sits well by itself, like Infinite. Get Infinite to 25, which we always want him to be by default. Nonetheless, I think Namora is going to be the meh card of this season, and my take on it, I'm definitely going to give it a silver. This is a silver card for me.
Okay, this is just like right out the gate ratings, right? All right.
Yeah. But I was playing
I don't like the cost.
Right.
I think it's 2. I think probably 4 was better.
Or 3.
I think 4 is better. Right. 4 or 3.
Yeah.
But I like 4. Just to be, fair. I think 4 was way better. So I'm gonna go silver, like double silver, maybe. Like almost, I'm right. I'm gonna go silver because I just hate that 5.
Yeah. Okay. Guess how you feel about the card.
First off, let's get a couple of things straight with Namora, which sounds weird to say it in that voice of Namora. It doesn't work there. It has to be Namora. Right. That's Namora. Yeah. I first off, very rarely are you ever going to play this with Orca because she will happen first.
Right.
Secondly, Infinite. Sorry, Ken, but no. You're never leaving. You're never leaving Infinite alone in a lane with no protection, and you're not getting it out on 5 to then play this dinky ass card.
Magic.
Unless you got magic. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of.
Okay.
Or
Magic doesn't exist. Okay. Magic it just is a risk. It's a risk. It's a risk.
Fair. That's true.
But for real though, and I started talking about it I think last week on the pod also, where I'm cooking different ideas because Namora could surprise me. And the more I sit on Black Knight decks, the more I sit on these new Ultron decks that are really starting to rise again with these late filling types of cards. I think there might be more to her than we may have originally anticipated, because you got to remember her ceiling. She's a 5/6 who can give the +5s to 2 other locations. So she has the potential to be 16 total power on the board spread out. And on one end, it's a little risky of a setup, but if your deck is a ramp deck, or if your deck is built for that anyway, this is a slightly better version of Dr. Doom also simultaneously, because then the lanes, You know, you don't have to get the Doom bots to land in there. You can just have a Namora proc, and that's what goes on for your 5 power instead. So I keep looking at different ways to try and make this card work. And I end up at a gold status again. I actually go up from what I think I said about her in the past, because I think there are some really cheeky decks that will come out with her for that +5 power. And I'm actually becoming more inclined to like her on turn 4 as a, like, you can ramp into it potential play. Also with Psylocke, I like the idea of playing her out, you know, even on turn 6 now. More and more I sat with it, so I think there's something there. But this will be a late bloomer card, 100%.
Yeah, I just think she's a more expensive Mrs. Marvel. Well, you know what I mean? Like, you could just play Miss Marvel and get that 5 buff on each location on the other side. I mean, granted, there's rules and everything to that too, but I'm just saying, I hate the 5. The 5
I think I agree with you. I think if it was a 4 or 3, it'd be a lot better. But no, I see where Guess is coming from. I mean, imagine playing her with Wong too, right? It's a very interesting thing to give us another card of +10 power.
That's
Wong,
dope.
Mystique,
That's dope.
drop that, you know, additional. So, but back to your take, Sino, you could just play Miss Marvel and then drop Onslaught. So, I mean, it's definitely, and I like the location power more than the card power, because of course Shang-Chi's, that is real. So, but nonetheless, the fact it's on reveal is also another problem. But we'll dive into that shortly. So we all have our scores. We'll see how we feel about her next week's podcast when we all get a chance to play with Namora. So now, speaking of 5-cost cards that nobody likes, we wanted to give you guys our top 5 best 5-cost cards in Marvel Snap currently as of this recording. So the way I see it, do we flip a coin who goes first, or should I dive in?
First
How do you
off,
guys
I want to say that the top 5 is the best thing you guys could have came out. I love that number 5. I don't know why.
Here we go with that. All right, so the way we rated this was number 1 is the worst, 5 is the best. So we'll kick things off with myself, and I'll give you my worst to best of the top 5-cost cards currently in Marvel Snap as of this recording. My number 1 card is Taskmaster. Taskmaster, to me, I feel it's a great 5-cost card, but of course, he's not the best, so he sits there at number 1.
Wow.
Should we keep going, or should we go across everybody to see what their number 1s were?
We go like,
just cite them off, because otherwise we're going to be here 17 hours and we respect our listeners' time.
That's fair. My second card, of course, is the one and only Black Panther. That card still is one of the best 5-cost cards, I feel, especially with pairing it up with Wong, or with, of course, Zola, or by itself, even Odin. So Black Panther is number 2 on my list. Number 3, I think a lot of people's number 5 on this list is Sarah. I think Sarah is a phenomenal 5-cost card. She was one of the best, if not the best 5-cost card for a long time. All right, but she's on my mid. She's number 3 there. Number 4 goes to Cannonball. Yes, Cannonball can win you some 8-cuber games out of nowhere. Cannonball was the card that nobody liked, just like Legion, the redhead stepchild, and out of nowhere, Cannonball is just wrecking everywhere, pun intended. Then, of course, last we have is Iron Man. Iron Man, to me, is the best 5-cost card in Marvel Snap today. I challenge anybody to tell me differently. Sino, what are your top 5-cost cards?
Okay, that was good. I like that. That was nice. I think you messed up going out the gate, but it's all right. I like that.
Yeah, so let me say yes.
My number 1 is going to be Hobgoblin. Now, Hobgoblin is awesome for putting a -8 over onto your opponent's side. It's good for clogging. It's good for Galactus, G-Man decks. So I'm going to go with Hobgoblin right out the gate. My next one is going to be Sarah. Sarah reduces the cost of all cards by 1. So she just makes it easier for you to drop and just unload on turn 6 and 5. Make life difficult for your on turn 6, not turn 5. She's played on 5, and on 6 you can just unload a bunch of cards, and
that's your number 2.
Doesn't see it coming. Yes.
Intriguing. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. What?
No, continue.
Okay, cool.
No shade or anything. Just
intriguing.
It's intriguing. No shade. Yeah. Okay. Then I'm gonna go with my boy Professor X, where it's great to lock down a side. Your opponent can no longer play there unless they have Jeff or something like that. It's just good to get a side locked down. So all you have to do is worry about winning one location. You don't have to worry. Your opponent has to worry about winning two. My next pick was Taskmaster, because you get to copy all that value that you done worked up with your Venoms or your Blobs that you cheated out, or whatever high powered card that you played the turn before. Get to copy that right over into another lane and make life difficult for your opponent. And the number one, I can't believe it. I'm agreeing with this guy. It's gotta be Iron Man. It's gotta be Iron Man. Like, come on, double the power there. Like, that's just awesome. Gotta love Iron Man. Can't beat it. Let's go. Guess what you got?
Y'all been hanging out with each other too much. Like, just plain and simple. Like, oh my God, Taskmaster. He's got to be in the top 5. Like,
what's wrong with Taskmaster? That's an amazing card.
What's wrong with that? But okay, let's hear your number.
The fact that I've got 5 others that are better than him. All right.
Wow. Okay, let's hear it.
All right. My lowest of the bunch, because for some reason you're doing your numbers inverted on a top 5.
He put me off with that. Like, I labeled it the whole other way, so I was just like, I had to read it backwards.
Like,
yeah, we want to be different.
1 is 5 and 2 is 4 and 4 and 2. 3 is good with 3 though. 3 is fine. 3 is the same.
3 is the same regardless where you put it. Yeah.
This is what happens when you have a weird ass seesaw growing up. So now everything's like ass backwards.
That's fine. Right,
so my number 1 in this case, Annihilus, because Annihilus just unlocks a whole package all by himself that is so incredibly strong that you can throw that 3-card, even 2-card package of Sentry and Hood with that one specific card, and it is such an incredible power swing that it can be built into so many other archetypes. So as a 5/6 as well, even with receiving that little bit of a power nerf, he's still an incredibly strong card. And that junk package is too strong to ignore. So I'm going to put that as my lowest of the bunch. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Straight up talking. You damn right I am. That's my reputation, apparently. Speaking of toxic, my number 2 is Profex, which I still can't believe you didn't put in your top 5 at all, Ken, considering that you liked Cannonball.
He was there, but
yeah,
the problem is he got nerfed, and I was just like, people running Tribunal now. It's
that's great, but this is my time. So I no, but for real though, like Cannonball, I feel like gets activated best because of Profex. I actually didn't put Cannonball in my top 5 because I think that Cannonball is a good card, but needs Profex. And I think Profex is an incredibly strong card, given the different types of decks that you can build around him. So I put him in my number 2 slot. My number 3 slot, which we all agree on, should be in the top 5 hands down, and that's Iron Man. My Iron Man, it's like my favorite card, my personal favorite card in the game, but that doesn't mean that he's the best card at this cost in the game, in my opinion. I think his ceiling is incredibly high. He opens up so many different possibilities all by himself. You get him early series 1, 2, and it's just, you can throw him into so many different decks. So Iron Man definitely deserves to be up there. And also my number 4 in this instance, Sarah. She's the second best 5-cost card in the game, hands down. You know, being able to ramp her out always feels good. If you can ever get her down any turn earlier, you know you're going to have a good, final 2 turns. So any opportunity to do so, like Elysium, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be a good day. So I'm a big fan of that. But I can't believe neither of you put my number 5 in your grouping of top 5, no matter which way you invert it.
All right, let's hear this.
How did neither of you put Vision at all? Vision is the strongest 5-cost card for a number of reasons.
Top 5?
Number 1, number 5, number 1, the best, whatever wording you want to use, depending on who you're listening to. And the reason being is because he offers something that none of these other cards can offer, and that's uncertainty. You play him down at any point, and you have no idea where that 8 power is going to end up on the board. Is it going to stay where it is, or it could move to 2 other potential locations? And that indecision and agency is so incredibly powerful that if I'm ever looking for a 5-cost card, more often than not, I'm going, okay, start with Vision and then work your way backwards. Is there anything more efficient? Because hands down, Vision can go into almost any deck as a solid single turn 5, drop it down card, and it will mess with your opponents more than almost any other card in the list.
I mean, that's fair. I think it is a great card, but I'm with Sino, not top 5. It's probably top 10. I give it top 10.
I like what you said though. I feel like it does drive some anxiety for your opponent to where he doesn't know where the fuck that 8 is going. So he's just he has to account for it in every single lane almost. Right. So it's like, okay, could go there. That's a lot of math to do on the fucking timer. But
we've done math where we're like, okay, if he moves it in these 2 lanes, he still loses.
Am I scared of it? Or it really plays a factor for me? It does not often though. Right. That's what I'm saying.
But
so
I do
why
believe,
I wouldn't put it top 5 in my opinion.
Right. But I do understand why you put him up there because he is that.
I liked it. Yeah, I like the reason.
That mobility alone and that power is enough to put up there. But wow, number 1.
Mind game.
Listen,
number 1.
This is what it is, guys. Guys who are listening on YouTube or in the podcast.
Let us know who's right. Who's right?
Yeah, please. We're gonna definitely tweet this out because I want to know where everybody feels. Because I do believe Taskmaster and Iron Man Sarah. Well, sorry, we all picked Iron Man and Sarah. We all had that comment.
Yeah, we all had Iron Man. We had Sarah.
We all had Sarah. We all had Iron Man. Yeah.
So I guess we're kind of close in that. I think most people would agree with that as well. All right,
me and STG had Task. Also,
yeah. So you know why we like the BDE pause. So I want to copy that 20 power.
Seriously, Black Panther though, dude. Like, come on, man. Come on.
What? You know how many conquests and tickets and borders I got with Black Sands?
Yeah.
Just by playing by Sandman.
Black Panther's a little like
Sandman. Listen, hold on.
Beginning stages.
We ramp out. Sandman early. We play Black Panther, Zola, Odin on Zola. Like, how many times I've won games because Panther procs to those numbers?
Sandman changed now. He's not ongoing anymore.
I understand that, but Panther is still a viable card. It doesn't quite
hold up anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite hold up anymore. That's what we're saying. Black Panther, it's kind of passe. It's kind of like
Black Panther to me is exactly like what we were talking about with Sage, where it needs activators.
Okay, fair. You're right.
Yes.
In my top 5 because I won many of conquests and tickets and
we get it. Wakanda forever. We're with you, bro.
Not just because I am Wakanda forever. I'm just saying because it won me so much. That's why. But nonetheless, on to the next topic. There are some amazing drops coming this June. I know people thought it would never happen. Sino was one of them. I always had faith in Second Dinner. Nonetheless.
Of course he does. 13 months running Employee of the Month up there, guys. Let's go.
Nonetheless, we do have some awesome series drops coming in June. Cannot wait for these, for more people to get their hands on these cards. I did tweet this out and I was like, it's going to be Christmas in June. I'm so happy. And somebody responded, what are you so happy about? You already have everything. And I said, that's a good point, but I'm happy that other people now can have everything. Some of these cards have been sitting in Series 5 for so long. Majority of the people in the community haven't even been able to play these cards. So the fact that now these cards are dropping, give people the opportunity to play these amazing cards. And most of these, I think all of them are amazing. The last time we had such a great series drop was when Null dropped from 5 to 4, which I think he should have never done anyway. But that was the age of Galactus back when that happened. Nonetheless, we have some awesome cards going from series 4 to 3, which are Howard the Duck, which should have started off at 3 in the first place. Silver Samurai, Mirage, Echo, and Martyr. Some of these cards, again, I think should have been 3 to begin with. Then we have cards dropping to Series 4. We have Jean Grey, which is one of the top cards right now out in the meta. Selene, Hercules, which I still love. I think Hercules is still a great card, especially in Move. Nebula, Silk, Living Tribunal, another one of my favorite cards. Won a bunch of things with this card. And of course, Gladiator, which is an amazing card, right? We all can agree on that. So how do you guys feel about these series drops? Sino, actually, guess we'll start with you.
It's good, just not great. It's
okay. Take
it's good. Okay, so there are so many cards in Series 4 and Series 5 and we get series drops every 6 months, which means that even if we say it's a 26 week, cycle, right? So we're getting 26 new cards every 6 months, but then every 6 months you're only dropping 12. So it's just going to continue. And this is exactly what it was on the last series drops. The series 4 and series 5 pools are bloating and bloating and bloating and bloating. And it's good to have heard that Steven Jarrett is one of the devs primarily responsible for monetization in the game, is not happy with his own monetization model, because right now this is not enough to keep it sustainable for Marvel Snap. Because if Series 4 and Series 5 continues to bloat and we don't get more cards dropping down in series for accessibility, it makes it less incentivized to get that middle crew who could be 100% complete up to 100% complete and always are going to have that unfortunate FOMO, and then they can't spend their resources on what Second Dinner wants them to spend their resources on, which is cosmetics. They've made this clear over and over and over publicly that they want to monetize the game primarily through cosmetics.
Right.
But if the Series 4 and Series 5 pools do not thin, it will drive people away. And they have to drop more cards, because don't get me wrong, the cards that they dropped, I'm happy with the cards that they dropped.
Yeah, of course.
And there's some good cards in here, but it is not a sustainable model in the current situation that Second Dinner has gotten themselves stuck into. And they just need to drop more cards, plain and simple.
That makes sense, because now people are going to want to hoard, right? Because they're like, all right, these drops are coming in 6 months. I'm not spending any resources until the 6 month time span. No. Drops.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that, they know this is coming June 4th, and now they're going to save their tokens and wait for these Series 3 cards to come on down, or they're finally going to save their caches and they're not going to open up those Series 3 cards that they've wanted, like Mirage finally for the first time. Woohoo, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that come July, August, September, October, we're going to get, over the next 6 months, we're going to get another 26 new cards. And then in 6 months, they're also only going to drop another 12.
Oh, yeah, 12.
Which means the total pool is bloating still.
Yeah. So what they might need to do is what we just mentioned earlier, or even we've been mentioning from before, is these cards have to come out in those series, or they should every month at least have one card that's going to be a Series 3 card. Something to that extent, because that will help with the bloating of those drops. So now you don't have to worry about racing to wait the 6 months to drop only 12 more cards. I think that might help their issue. But again, we'll see what happens. See how you feel about these drops.
I liked it. I thought until guest started talking, I thought it was a good thing.
I'll let you finish, and then then come back to me after. But
I was like, wow, this is awesome. I believe Drop to Series 3 is all correct. Silver Samurai, Howard the Duck, Mirage. Mirage, I feel is good. But yeah, Echo, Mrs. Top 5 up there. I think everybody should be able to get Echo, so I'm with that. Martyr, I think it's trash, so I'm not complaining about that. So yeah, cool. I was pretty happy, but Guest made a lot of great points. there is some overbloating going on over there in Series 4, Series 5. So I agree with it.
It's one of those things where, like I said, these drops that did happen are good drops. I don't want to take away from the fact like, they made bad selections, or, we didn't get anything. And I'm looking more long term. If this is the pattern of series drops that we're going to be consistently getting, as we have consistently got, and even if they released cards back into Series 4, we end up with the same problem, because Series 4 and Series 5, you're still waiting for them to pop into spotlights. That's a problem, number one. Number two, if they're going to continue to inflate the economy that way, the thing that I think that they did wrong was deplete the importance of collector's tokens. Because if they're going to allow lots of cards to drop to Series 4, and Series 4 is never getting new cards added to it, you want people using collector's tokens on Series 4 cards, because it actually incentivizes more spotlights being obtained cosmetically, which means the keys are being used. And I think there's a huge disconnect there in regards to trying to figure out what needs to be Series 4 and Series 5, because the thing that people forget about all the time is that other fourth slot every week, where you get the possible random Series 4 or Series 5 card, that maybe converts into tokens. People forget all the time because Second Dinner kind of buried it under one comment in a Discord Team Answers one time, where it was outright said the random Series 4 and Series 5 is not random. You have a 67% shot to pull a Series 4 card and a 33% shot to pull a Series 5 card. So you can drop as much Series 4 as you want into it, but your chance of getting any Series 5 card, no matter how many cards get released, still goes down. And now you're bloating it on top of it. So your chances of getting anything other than a convert is incredibly low.
Yeah.
And collector's tokens need to be more abundant in conjunction with more cards dropping every 6 months, if not moving to every 4 months with this increment of drops.
Now that makes sense. Yeah, I didn't even look at it that way on that level, but that makes a lot of sense to me. I hope they listen to the podcast. They do every week. So I hope they hear what Guest is saying and they try to implement something like that soon. I know we have some cool things. I mean, I heard, I could be wrong, cool things coming in the summer. So I hope some of that is also part of this and we get more excited again for some snapping. I mean, we all love Snap. We play Snap every day, right?
Yeah.
But I want to get more excited. I want to continue that love and passion I have for the game. And I think something amazing like what Guest just mentioned or something else, a new game mode, we could talk about this all the time, will be phenomenal to keep us still engaged and happy and pumped about Marvel Snap. Now, speaking of things that keeps us happy and engaged when it comes to Marvel Snap, we have our favorite card of the week to discuss. But before we dive into that, before we get to that, because I'm itching, I'm ready.
Jumped the gun there, huh?
You're ahead of it.
I'm ready to talk about it. That's why. Let me calm down.
I can see that.
Breathe. Every card coming out this month is on reveal. Let me breathe. OTA predictions. Let's talk about that. So, as you guys know, OTAs come almost every week. We have some amazing things happening in OTA. OTAs, for those who don't know what it stands for, it means over the air. This is stuff that, being in the tech space, I've learned about many years ago when it comes to updates, whether it be cellular devices, servers, etc. Over the air is something that can be pushed, patches that can be pushed to devices or systems to help enhance or remove certain items in that platform. Now, what has been happening with OTAs, when we first started having OTAs, it was more so based on just being able to change cost and power. Now, we could do awesome things with OTAs and Snap, where we can actually change the abilities of cards to some extent. So OTAs have been the talk of the town. Every time there's an OTA, everybody's happy or sad or upset. But we are able to talk about it. We are able to dive into it and have a good time. So we haven't heard about any OTAs coming up in the near future. I know they are coming, but we haven't heard anything about it so far. But we do like to speculate. We do like to guess what we feel is going to show up. So speaking of guess, we're going to let you kick this one off. How do you feel?
No, it's Sino's turn. You think you're being a gentleman, but you have skipped over Sino to go first. Literally every single topic.
Well, I went first, and then I made you second.
Well, that's not every single topic.
Right.
I did go first.
All right.
Going in.
So
but okay, I get what you're saying. Thank you for listening.
Instead of me being first.
I'm looking out for you, man. You know, I got you.
Instead of me being first, I want you to be first. But if you want Sino to go first, you know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
Sino, what's your OTA predictions? Let's hear what you have to say. Because your voice matters.
Predictions. Sometimes. I never like predicting nerfs. I feel like it's bad luck. I hate nerfs, so I'm gonna go buffs.
All right,
we're fine. Now this is like a fantasy prediction, or is this like I have to be practical?
Pick a card or cards.
Pick a card, any card. Got it.
That you feel should be enhanced.
We're doing magic tricks. I'm ready.
Yeah, yes. I'm speaking this shit into existence for all my people out there. For all my Captain America people out there, we are going to get a buff finally. Don't you worry. We are going to get a buff, okay? Now, I believe Cap gives what? +2? Instead of giving +2, he's going to give...
what? He's a 3/3 that gives +1.
Yeah.
If you're going to speak for the people, know the fucking
My
card.
bad.
All right.
See, that's me wishful thinking. That's me wishful thinking, guess. I was like, I already gave him the benefit of the doubt of 2.
There you go.
All right. Okay. So there we go. I was speaking it into. See,
y'all
messing me up. Here we go. Captain America will give +3. I'm going for it. +3 to every card in that location. Let's go.
He gives +2 to every card in the location? That's how you feel? Okay. All right. Anything else? Any other cards you feel you want to get buffed or nerfed?
Oh, we got to go through a whole goddamn rundown.
You don't have to go through a rundown. Just pick a card or 2 cards. You just
pick a card, any card.
Captain America is the card you OTA.
And we're going to get Surfer back to +3 also. Let's go. Bring Surfer back, y'all.
Surfer +3 power. All right. Guess now it's your turn.
I was like, what?
Ken, did you share your specialty gummies with Sino again?
I did not.
First of all, that was a wild card question. I was like, I was so not ready for that, but I was like, all right, cool. What, why not?
It's only on the list that we put up a couple of days ago. I don't know how you're not ready for the predictions.
I didn't see that on the list.
So professional.
So yeah, we do what we can. I
didn't see that on the list.
All right, so there's my adjustment that I want versus what we should get in the game, right? Because the best way to make the game better is by making bad cards good, not make good cards bad. So how can you have your cake and eat it too? I think the way that we do that is, first off, with Sentry, we mess with the Void. We don't mess with Sentry.
Okay.
So I could see the Void switching to like a -6, a -8, like a Hobgoblin in a way, like raise technically the power. So that way, when there is that power swing, it's not as radical via Annihilus. So that's one way I'm looking at a power change, because you keep your 410, because if you're going to put that down there with the risk of having it being sent over, it needs to be Shang-Chi-able. So I'm not saying touch the 410 part of Sentry, leave him as is.
Negative.
Just change the power of the Void by raising the power of the Void to instead of being -10, maybe make it a -8 or -6. I think that's one way to help, annihilate, no pun intended, that package a tad, because every power that you change on the Void is actually looking as a 2 power change to the Void because of the swing. Right. So I think that's the only nerf at the current moment I'm going to 911 say, like, we should be aware of. Junk is still an incredibly prevalent package that you could throw to a variety of decks. I'm not saying it's at a detrimental standpoint, but it's one that I just would personally like to see, even if it goes against the lore of, the +10, -10, Sentry and Void, etc.
Sentry better. I was like, that's a nerf. That sounds like a buff to me. It's not good for me. I'm like, yes.
No, it's a nerf.
Technically, no.
Right, because you're sending it over in most cases.
Well, I understand that, but if the penalty though is on you from the jump is a little less.
Be. Right.
Even if you don't get that Annihilus, or you can't get that Carnage or that Viper out on it, you know what I mean? It's a little less of a penalty on you.
Right.
You had -10 in there. Now you have -8. So it's like, okay, I think that makes the card even better to play. I would play it.
But for the reason in how you typically play it, you're either clogging that lane prior to putting down Sentry, or you're sitting on, like you said, Viper or Annihilus or Lady Deathstrike or something to destroy that lane. So that's why I say actually it makes it a unique change, because in exactly like you said, technically for you it's a buff, but it's overall actually with the way the card is being played, it's a nerf. So I like
if your
that.
intention is to send it over, like you said, exactly. It doesn't help you as far as sending it over to your opponent and having that negative in there. I get it. But if you can't send it over, then it's kind of like, okay, it's not so bad for you. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not taking 10 from you anymore. We'll take 6. And that's it.
Yeah. I think, and to piggyback off of what you were saying, I mean, Captain America is the one that most people want. I think to me, the logic on it is just make him a 3/2 that gives +2s. That way his total ceiling is 3/8. And I think that makes him strong. I think that makes it attainable and gives a good buff. And it also makes a really big push for Cerebro too. That's what I want to see, because then you can drop your Cerebro and your Mystique all in that lane. That's true. Now they've all got 2 power.
That's not like powerful. That's just practical. That's just practical. We want practical. We want to punch you in the mouth power, guest.
Okay, you want a little bit of a practical one. Fine. That's how I'm trying to look at it. If you want to get punched in the mouth with power, then what you do is you take Hercules and you make it a 3/6. Because a 3/6 Hercules fills the curve so much better Considering that turn 4 and 5, you're trying to play 2 cards each regularly to get ready to make that either big decision play of do you Heimdall on 6 or do you do other micro plays? And
I like that. Makes it worth it right there.
Just get the extra turn.
I would have bought that card. The card that Guest is describing right now, I would have bought that card. I would have went for Spotlight Keys on that card and used tokens on that card. But right now, I do not.
Okay.
Would you spend 3,000 tokens on a 3/6 Hercules? That's the question.
Yes.
Damn right. Hell yeah, I would.
I spent 6,000 tokens on a 3/6 Hercules.
You'll spend 12,000 tokens on a Howard the Fuck.
He has 75,000
Howard
tokens.
the Duck.
He could do that shit.
Negative, not me.
If the Howard the Duck was gold and a rare variant, you would do it. You would do it.
For a good variant,
yeah, he would
for sure. So I have a few cards on my list, but none of them are the Infinite, so you guys should be happy about that. But since you guys are talking about Captain America, if I had to change Captain America, I think I would leave him a 3/3. But what I would do is he will play and his shield will get tossed into his deck. And when the shield comes out, he'll give everybody in that lane with him +1 power or +2 power additional. So kind of give him the Thor effect, but he gives power to each card that's in that lane at that time. So whether it be +1 or +2, I think that would be pretty fun because you can drop that hammer on a Wong and then that just gets crazy and you're buffing that whole lane on that final turn. You know what I mean? You Captain America it up, right? You put Iron Man in there. Oh shit, Iron Man about to get +4. That's a crazy power Iron Man too.
I actually like that. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's something that's fun. Pretty dope.
Because his ongoing ability is cool.
You've got the wheels spinning on that one, but I'm gonna ask I don't know what your Marvel lore background is, but can Jane Foster lift both she can lift both hammers or any hammers?
Oh, she could. She lifts Mjolnir.
Mjolnir, right? Okay.
Yes.
So if she's going to be able to then wield the shield, you know, you should make it a 0 power card.
Of course. Yeah. Just like the hammer.
I'll take it one step further because I like your idea. What if you play it into the Captain America lane and it merges like Hulkbuster into Captain America?
Even better. And then it gives buffs to the cards. So yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
See, exactly.
That's how you get your +3. That's how you get your +3.
There we go. Guess.
And that makes Captain America draw it. Right. And Captain America looks even better. It looks even better.
There we go.
More animation.
Did we just break the game? I think so. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
Right now, he has the same animation as Agent 13. That's not cool. Not Agent 13.
U.S. Agent.
U.S. Agent. That's not cool. Come on, he's Captain.
U.S. Agent is better than him.
He's Captain America, right?
Not right. Shout out to Perry. Right? Perry Manilow out there. We're going to get Cap great again.
He's Captain Bumbleclot America. He should have something fire, something cool. But to get off the Captain America train, some of my cards I really think that should get nerfs, buffs. I'm going to go with, of course, Supergiant. I think Supergiant needs to be a 3 cost at this moment, especially because cards like Leech are now a 4 cost. There's some amazing 4 cost cards out there. And I think if we could stop that curve with Supergiant and it being on reveal, being able to play maybe even something to proc it for the next turn, maybe you can't, but nonetheless, make it a 3 cost card so you can stop cards like Leech or those 4 cost cards that are coming out. If you want to drop the power, I think it's a 4/5 right now. You want to make it a 3/4, even better. But I think we need to bring Supergiant one cost down because in reality it was there for the Leeches, for the Sarahs. But in reality right now, you have Mobius that stops all the Sarah madness. Poor Zabu got nerfed. I think he should come back to ongoing. That's one of my other cards.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, so right now, why not make Supergiant a 3 cost card? So that's my card for sure. Supergiant should be a 3 cost. Zabu should come back to ongoing. And
so you want Supergiant to be a 3 cost to what? Stop the Leeches?
Stop Leech. Stop any other 4 cost cards that are like Shuri.
I don't think that's impractical. I think that's pretty reasonable to ask for.
Shang-Chi's, because there's a lot of powerful 4 cost cards now compared to the 5 cost cards that we were trying to stop with Supergiant in the past, right? Because again, the Leech was the main thing. Sarah was the other thing, but you have Mobius now, so you don't have to worry about Sarah. All the other 5 cost cards that we spoke about, like Vision, for example. Yeah, okay, but I think if you could stop Leech, Shang-Chi, Shuri, all those crazy 4 cost cards now, I think Supergiant needs that nerf. That buff to go down in the cost and power. And then, of course, I'll just pick one last card. I think Red Hulk. Red Hulk still needs another nerf. I think instead of +4, it should go to
All right,
+3.
you're outrageous now. Calm down. We already got him to a 9, bro. Relax.
But he stays 9.
Calm down.
Instead of him,
you did this to Green Hulk. 13, okay, we don't need this,
bro. He can go
to
12. He can go to 15. Why +4? I think +3 would be perfectly fine. Man. Why do we need to make him +4? I mean,
now you like +3. Before you didn't +3. Now you like +3.
Red Hulk is still one of those cards you put in the deck with Shuri or whatever else. You ramp it out, get it out early, and then play Taskmaster to copy it. It's no fun. Let's make him. Let's bring it down just a little bit and have some more fun with the card. That's how I feel.
Do you want people to like this game? Like, why take the fun out of it? Like, why are you trying to?
Why you make it seem like Red Hulk is not going to be fun?
I agree.
I agree. No, I'm surrounded by them guys. I'm surrounded by them.
How would that not make Red Hulk still? People still play Red Hulk.
You want to just nerf the shit out of it? Like, just let it. They already did. They already corrected it. They brought it down to a 9. I think it's fine the way it is. I'm particularly enjoying Red Hulk at this current moment. Can we not kill it, guys? Can we let it rock a little bit?
Listen, all right.
We already knocked it down a peg. It's already like, let's just chill. Let's just chill. +4 is fine. Just don't leave any energy on the table, bro. What do you want me to tell you?
When people are playing Hope, when people are playing lower cost card, people playing Beast, you want to be what's it called? You want to be penalized for that? I think +3 is more than fair. But
oh my god! All right, world's smallest violin playing for you right now. Like, come on, man.
Guess you agreed. What's your take on that?
No, I agree. I think, and because the reason I look at it is when that first energy gets skipped, you're doing it without the knowledge of Red Hulk already being in the hand. So the second that reveal happens, that they're already sitting on a 6-13 in their hand right off the bat. Obviously, you're trying to play it down on 6. So because you play it down on 6, it's a guaranteed 6-13. It's going to fill the curve.
Right.
And to me, I look at that as Red Hulk should contest Hulk. So if you skip twice, now he's stronger. If you skip once, you've made a Hulk. And that, to me, fits more in line with the competition and the lore of where he's trying to go with.
Correct. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Guessing his practical thoughts. I don't like this. I don't like this at all.
Listen,
fine. I've been on your side too, giving practical thoughts.
Come on, Guess. Come on. Okay. All right. That's a little party pooperish of you guys, man. Leave Red Hulk alone. He's the only Hulk out of the rest of the Hulk. At base power, the rest of the Hulks have to sit there and they laugh at him because they're all in double digits and he's just sitting there at a 9 and they're all like, we're stronger than you. Like, let him rock. He's a 9. He's fine. Like, we don't have to do anything
We're not
crazy.
dropping the 9, but the additional power. But nonetheless, it's fine. It's fine. So you keep that same energy. Because our next topic, since we didn't put you first, our next topic that we all want to talk about, the one that the card that we all adore at this moment, seeing that we get a bunch of on reveals this month, is the one and only Leech. And if you guys know from the podcast, we have a ton of Tell 'em Why You Mads. And we got to kick it off. Sino, tell them why you mad. Tell them why you love Leech so much.
All right, guys. You got to get upset. You just got to think of Leech real quick. All right, cool. All right, guys. I'm doing this for y'all. Let's go. What? How far am I going with this?
As far as you want.
All right, cool.
We'll beep out what we need to beep out, but I think we're fine.
Sino Unleashed. Let's go. Why the fuck is Leech around, guys? I don't understand this. All right, I'm with you guys. All right, we got all our nice on reveals ready to just sit there and finish our fucking combos. And you know what Leech does? He just comes right in and poof, fucking that's it. Nope, no, you don't. Unless it's ongoing, you are not fucking safe. Okay, you must be scared. Fear the fucking Leech because he's out there to take the fun out of the game. Thank you so much, Second Dinner, for having a card that just obliterates our combinations, just stops all the fun, makes us want to throw our fucking phone at the screen. Okay, like that. Like, why? What? Who sat down and just thought of this? Who said, "Yeah, we're gonna ruin everybody's fucking Snap Day. We're just gonna ruin it." You even made my boy SuperTechGod. He almost quit stream today. He said, "If it's a fucking Leech, I'm ending fucking stream." Thanks a lot, fucking Second Dinner, for that. Okay, you almost deprived us of one of the best streamers out there. All right, and we would have fucking rioted in the streets. Okay, we would have rioted in the streets. All right, why does Guess have to feel that way on turn 4 now? Okay, he's like, well, if they play Leech, I'm gonna end. He has to feel that way now. He never had to feel that way before. No, he was good. He got to play his combinations. The whole Snap community was loving life, and then you boom hit us with this shit again. Thanks a lot. Let me calm down. You guys go ahead, bro. I'm just going nuts. Thanks a fucking lot, second. I appreciate
it. So to talk about that, I hear your frustration. I totally get it. But to talk on the other side of things, people in the world were complaining about another card. They were crying about this card. I saw them all over the place. I went and gave them cheese with their wine because they felt that Hella needed to be touched, nerf, buff, whatever. They wanted Hella out of the game. So Second Dinner said to help everyone to stop the crying, we're going to make Leech a 4-cost instead because people were ramping out Hella using the wonderful Corvus. And the way Second Dinner do certain things, certain tweaks they do to, make a card stop being played, this is one of them. They brought Leech down just 1 cost and said, all right, let's see who wants to play Hella now. And as you guys can see, Hella's not really out there. It's out there, but it's not really out there. But I do agree with you, Sino. Leech is a problem. The reason why he's a problem is not only does it only touch on reveals, it doesn't touch my Infinite anymore. And that was the best part of Leech for me. I have Infinite in my hand. Go ahead, Leech me. I dare you. And I get to drop my wonderful Infinite on the last turn. But now.
What the hell are you talking about? What is this guy talking about? Infinite? What the hell is he talking? We're out here playing fucking... Yeah, thank you, guess. You know what? I'm out of here, too. I don't even want to be here right now.
You guys agree with me, right? Leech used to be able...
That's your argument?
Yes. And now that Leech does not turn off the Infinite, I'm upset. Okay, I'm hurt because that was
we're
the
all out here
only
stressing Sage, and
yeah.
we're stressing our Hellas and our Surfers and all our Iron Hearts and all that. All our on-reveal cards just chilling. If all our Lady Sifs and our Corvuses to go to hell, but no, you're good. You're okay. You're like,
you'll be fine.
My Infinite doesn't get hit anymore. This sucks.
Yeah, that's
the most Second Dinner thing you've ever said in your life. All right.
Okay, guess. Tell them why you're mad about Leech. Guess is still stunned.
First off, it's been lovely being here as a part of my final episode of the Snapcast. I've thoroughly enjoyed my time, and you guys have been great. Seriously, gummies, less of them next time, Ken. Like
they're Sour Patch Kids. That's what they are. Sour Patch.
With THC in them.
Keep them out of what patch? What patch did you pick them from?
What strand?
Look, Leech. I try very often on stream, in YouTube videos, to constantly talk about it from the aspect of the game and the balance of the game and the perspective, very often from Second Dinner, of why they do certain things. And I understand, Ken, what you're talking about as well, that it's a necessary evil to a degree, that this needs to happen, right? That you need to have a card that can control on reveals for the final turn of the game in some kind of universal manner. And Leech was supposed to be that card. At 5/3, Leech never presented a positive way to be able to do that, because it always had a feels bad thing, because it was always a turn late. It never hit the right timing of that Annihilus. It never hit the right timing of that Hella, because you would never want to play a 5/3 because you'd always get it Corvus ramped out also. Like the on reveals that were starting to become a problem in Marvel Snap all were coming on turn 5 or had a way to come out on turn 5. And that was a big part of the issue. So by moving it to 4/2, yes, they're fixing some of those issues. They're saying, hey, you can now hit those if you want to put it on curve as turn 4 to get ahead of that game. And I understand the necessary evil behind that. The downside, I think, that maybe this is how Leech has to be reapproached, is they're trying to basically say, with what Leech should be doing is controlling an on reveal anywhere at any given point. So let's just remove everything out of the hand. And that's where the feels bad obviously happens. However, if you reconvert Leech into a 4/2, your opponent's next on reveal doesn't work.
Right.
Then it's a whole nother card. Now, who that it doesn't touch Infinite.
Sad.
But it does limit the restriction and then causes different play arounds. where if you're trying to Annihilus on turn 5, yes, you can intercept it. Or if you think your opponent's going to play a Leech, now you've got to play a different 1 cost on reveal to try to get out your Annihilus, and you're going to screw up the entire curve. Now you can't play the Demon down, for example. This screws up the Cannonball lines because you're always putting down the Cannonball on turn 6 after Prof X. Like that, to me, like negating the next played on reveal by your opponent, that's what does it. And that's what Leech is meant to typically be actually hitting. Because now you can time it if you know you're going up against a Hella player. All right, hold your Leech till turn 5. Did they play Corvus? Okay, play your Leech on turn 4. Like it gives you, that's the agency that this card is trying to do, which is a universal on reveal negation. The multiple on reveal negation is where the feels bad comes from after going up against it so many times, especially now because we have a card that can toss it back into the deck and then replace it with a fucking Rulk. You know, that's part of the feels bad with this, because if you look at the play rates right now through your favorite, you know, site of different trackings like untapped.gg, you can see that Leech is a top 10 most popular card and Blink is a top 5 most popular card. And that's because they play perfectly together now that Leech has gone into a 4-2 state. And that deck is a very good deck. So work on the mechanic of what the on reveal is supposed to be controlling, which is a specific on reveal in any lane at a certain time. Don't just like wipe the entire hand slate clean, because now you completely ruin so many archetypes that it's, as you said, it's a no fun card.
Right.
Leech is a problem because he has a goal, but hasn't found a successful way to achieve the goal. And they're closer with 4-2, but it creates different feels bads than we had before. If you have him be a tech card that removes the next on reveal played, that'd be better. Now you have a card that has strategy, timing, both sides, and then it really becomes Marble Snap versus, here, let me grab my big fucking eraser off the floor here. Hang on. Here we go. Just every on reveal, just remove it all from everybody. That's my assessment of Leech right now.
No, I totally agree with that. And I think that's kind of the Super Giant thing as well, right? Super Giant is the next cards played is on pause until the end of the game. If Leech had that same ability for the next on reveal card, I think that or the next on reveal cards that you play on that next turn, I think that would be pretty awesome. I like that idea, and I think again, second that it does listen.
I think that was very articulate, well said, guest. I think that was very well mannered by both of you. I got to teach you both how to tell them why you're mad. Guess you were supposed to break out. Have you not
been on a stream?
I'm just saying. That's all I do. You got to break out the New York accent with your anger there. You got to give us that feel. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel it. I got to teach y'all. It's okay. Guess,
because we can't have too many mad people.
Some anger from you. Ken, he's always just monotoned. He doesn't go. It sounds like late FM with Ken on Twitter. Hello, how you doing? This is STG. That's how it always sounds. It doesn't matter, even if he's that. But you were supposed to give us anger. Yes, exactly. Sino. That hot fire you heard. Like it's like there's no there. But you get angry. So I was really.
I will. This isn't, to me, this isn't worth that level of anger. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Because
all right, we'll get there.
Like, I spent the day today on stream building anti-Leech decks and with the idea. But the reason I got frustrated was because I then went 17 games in a row without seeing Leech. And then when I saw Leech, I lost. That's why I got mad. And then I switched the decks, did a whole nother series, waited another 12 games, finally saw a Leech, then decided, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, screw this. I'm going to put Leech into a deck. And that's the game you're referring to, where all of a sudden I start seeing Nebula on turn 1. I'm going, this is already playing like a Blink deck. If this is how I pull Leech, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think it definitely needs a rework. But at the end of the day, it is a necessary evil. But yeah, I think it could definitely sit pretty as that Super Giant for on reveals. I think it would be good at that 4 cost next cards play. You just, stop it. I think that'd be nice. And then to stop Leech, jump the Super Giant on turn 3. So yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Nonetheless, I'm still mad because my Infinite doesn't get touched by Leech, and this is bullshit. Okay, it is bullshit.
It's ridiculous, bro.
They gave you War Machine. Stop your win. They gave you War Machine.
Leech, you know what Leech does to War Machine? You see my problem? You see my point. You see my point. That's why I'm mad.
Damn you, Leech. Damn you.
Put him back.
Just put
guys.
it down on Hope Summers. You're fine. Shut up.
Put him back.
Yeah.
Put him back.
Damn you.
Put him back. But yeah, no, that's great, guys. I definitely do agree. Great points made. Sino, I understand your frustration. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know down below how you feel. If you think Leech is a problem for you, do you see it at all?
Yeah. And please give us your next card. Let us know tell us why you're mad, and we'll cover it here.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, what happened was Second Dinner heard a lot of people complain about Goliath, and they fixed Goliath and said, okay, we need them to complain about something else. And he just, made Leech a little four cost card. But no, I agree. Like Sino says, give us the next card you want us to complain about. Have you guys been seeing Loki? Because I don't see Loki at all.
That was our last complaint.
I don't see Loki anymore.
You see what I did there?
You know what the next card should be? Baron Zemo. Guys, down below, Baron Zemo. Next
Baron
card.
Zemo.
And Cable. That whole card list is horrible. I despise that card, the entire list. Tell Sino, you know what, guys? I'm going to put that in the comments. Tell me why you mad for the Baron Zemo's entire card list. Cable, Baron Zemo, every
Mantis, all of them. Man.
Doc. Bomba clock.
Yo, y'all need to come watch the video of this podcast just to see Ken's reaction right there. That was the most animated I have seen Ken in a year and a half.
We've ever gotten.
Because Doc Ock, holy shit. He won't pull Infinite. He won't pull Shang-Chi.
His eyes turned into Leech. He was like,
everything.
He'll
pull
Shang-Chi.
He'll pull Odin first. It's the worst shit ever. The worst shit. Doc Ock. I'm putting the comments down below. Doc Ock. Done. All right, guys, that was great. It's a great. I definitely appreciate you guys again. Thanks for listening, guys.
Another good episode in the books. Let's go.
Yes. Let us know how you guys feel about the new layout. I think it looks pretty awesome to me. Let us know how you guys feel about guests. I think he's a great addition to the podcast, of course. And still let us know how you feel about Sino. I know you guys still have questions about Sino. Just let us know. It's okay. You get
questions. What questions? What are you talking about?
What questions? You put a $sign in your name like it's 1997.
I'm all about that money, guys. All about that money, baby.
Let them know.
Are you not getting paid to do this?
Okay, guys. Peace.